Good morning. Wow, that paint is still fresh. Interesting. Anyway, good morning. Happy Friday. Hey, Nick. Good morning. How are you? Happy motherfucking Friday. There we go. I believe most of this is now done. All right. Hey, Joe. Good morning. Living the dream. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. I'll fill you guys in on why I was not on yesterday when I got a few more people popping in. My dear friend Ken. Real quickly, just to show you. I mean, I did do work yesterday. I just was not mentally able to just jump on, but chipping on the feet is now done. I'll take photos of it because it'll be better viewed like in that regard. I also focus only on a few areas. I didn't want to overdo it, so there's a lot of chipping going on the feet, but not a ton, just enough. And then literally on these exposed areas, like right along the side of this piece here, a couple spots on here, a couple spots on the kneecap, but I didn't want to. It's not like this thing has been going around getting beat. It's stepping on the dog bowl. Yeah, exactly. So if you kick enough dog bowls, you're gonna probably chip some paint, right? Especially those like metal or ceramic ones. Yeah, they're gonna chip some paint. But yeah, but I didn't want to do anything further. In fact, one foot is probably more aggressive than the other, which is perfectly fine. Like if you take a look at the front and the top, it's just not a lot. There's no reason for it. I just wrapped up the hand as well. I worked on this yesterday and I just wrapped up a couple things. The hand is probably a little bit more done, particularly like edging. I'm a big fan of trying to get some of like that edging done. So you can actually see, there you go. And again, I think that gives it just the right amount. Am I going up the arm? No. No, I'm not. I did want to try one thing, though. Do I have one here? I think I got rid of all of my Sharpies. I think I did. Just trying to see if I had a a silver Sharpie down here. I was going to try a silver Sharpie on some of the parts here, but no. Who knows? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe in the diorama when I get to that. I'm going to get this thing done by December 5th. So it's literally got 2 weeks to get this done. Chipping is almost done. There's not a lot left. I'd say probably by end of day tomorrow, chipping will be done. Sunday I should be able to then plan. Today and tomorrow chipping. Tomorrow night flat or gloss coat. After the gloss coat, I will then do Sunday. I'll start doing water slides. Sunday is going to be a short session ish because I'm heading down to pick up my daughter from college. Hey Tony, good morning. How are you? Trying to start a cyberpunk. Just looking for a crew, but it will be a good one. Nice. Joe, by the way, my daughter, my older daughter Zoe, is likely going to be starting. She might be participating in a D&D campaign. I'm very happy for her. Will the dial be started after, or is it to be continued type thing? I think it'll be continued. I'd like to get. I think, Nick. I think again, I'll elicit some thought about this. I'd like to get this model completed and ready for the show season. So, let's have something ready. And then once this is done, I would like to get back to the Macross kit. I've actually enjoyed the painting process on this enough that I feel like, all right, you know what? Instead of looking at all that shit that's sitting up there on sticks, let's get it done. Doing well. Soldiers are done, and I'm working on arms now. There is hope. This kit will get finished. Nice. The hope that will get finished? Of course it's going to get finished. So as a comparison, just to show you guys between these two, let's see if you guys can see it. Sort of the differences between the chip one and the not chip one, right? Which, without any, I've done no tonal variation except for a little bit of pre-shading. I think that this gives it a little bit more character, but we'll see how it goes. If she needs any tips, let me know. Nothing like having a mimic as a pet. My understanding is the people that she's going to be gaming with are actually the DM is like supposed to be really, really good. I'm like, that's great. Having a great DM, a great storyteller is huge. Hey, Tom, what's going on, brother? Hot stuff. Being into D&D. I agree. I'm very happy for her. All right, I'm going to put these glasses on because I do like to do chipping up close. And I usually start like on the thumb and work over. And for the most part, this is just a little bit of edge highlighting is all it really is. It's not like a ton. But as you get closer to the extreme fingers, that's where the outer phalanges, that's where it gets a little bit more intense. It's looking great. Gee, I can't wait to see it in person. Yeah, thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. And I'd love to look, and I'm not good at this stuff. I'm okay. I'd love to hear people's takes. One of the things I kept thinking about while I was doing the chipping was, it's funny. I'm moving away from realism into, does it tell the story? Is it excessive? Yeah, I guess if you go too far, that's one thing. But like I'm reading through some of Mike Rinaldi's chipping book, and it's like I don't need, at least on a lot of this stuff, I don't need to be hyper real. I'd rather it tell the story. So that's kind of been a bit of a transition for me, I think, over the last couple of years. Is I'm trying to let the models, is it 100% accurate and whatever? I don't know, but is it at least saying something of interest? And that's, I think, one of the things, and that certainly could be like hyper realism, like when I did the Spartan, when I try to get as real and in scale and all that stuff as possible. At the same time, I don't want to forget that the reason why I'm doing this is because I enjoy doing this. I enjoy the process, and I enjoy, in the end, looking at something and saying, I like seeing a story, and hearing people look at that and just say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Not in terms of like how well it looks, just in terms of, wow, I like that. I see what you're going for here, or this is how I envision it. That's kind of cool. To tell the story, then I did my job. Exactly. So, anything else? And I'm saying this having been to a number of model shows. This year was like one of those interesting ones, 4 shows in 4 weeks. And how much I don't care how well a model is made. If it's sitting like if you've got a tank and it's just sitting on a, and I did the same thing, my little ZTQ-15 just laid right down on the table. But if you just put a tank on a table, and in particular when it's a wash of green and khaki and traditional military colors, and you just see a table full of that stuff, it's like all I'm seeing is a kaleidoscope of colors. There's nothing there. Is anybody telling me something? But also tell me something unique. Like seeing a bunch of figures put on a tank isn't telling me something unique. So I'm starting to understand a lot more about why organizations like SMC and the rest of them are looking at more of the, not just the model, but the whole thing around it, the base that's around it, the figures that are around it, the story, like a crashed plane or an exploded tank or something unique. The distillation of style, I like it. Yes, exactly. There's just so much more to that. And I think part of that is, look, I studied film and I'm never going to be a filmmaker. And I'm perfectly fine with that. My sister, she will. She has been and she will be again. Me, I'm not that guy. But I like telling stories. And this is, I guess, now becoming the medium for me to do that. So I'm pretty happy about that. In I'm going to give it another 5 minutes or so. Then I've got speaking of stories, I got some things to tell you, boys and girls, whoever comes in. That is, we need more pink tanks. First of all, Tony, couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Pink, fuchsia, orange. I don't give a shit. Candy colored, fluorescent. Absolutely. In fact, somebody mentioned that, I think it might have been here. Paint a tank like a Formula One car. It's like, that's a really fucking brilliant idea. Hey, George and everyone. I see most of those tables are green. They're just sitting there. No action scenes are very. Yeah, exactly. It's. I hate to put it this way, and I'm not belittling the modeler. It's boring. Hey, Julius. Good morning. How are you, my friend? Juggernaut's in the house. Wicked good early morning to you. Still want to do a Cholo style tank. So define what that means. I think I know what that means, but what does it mean? Highlighter colored tank. Absolutely. As it puts racing stripes on a tank. There we go, Tom. Exactly. I think that would be great. Why not? One of the things that I think I appreciate about, I think what Gundam as an overarching category, less in terms of the TV series and trying to build what the TV series has, but what Gundam has created is that Gundam is freedom mentality has allowed people to just say, you know what? I want to paint my model the way I want. And the Gundam community is like, well, why wouldn't you? That's the difference. Whereas in the traditional scale modeling community, it's, well, so what theater or campaign was that model in? And it's like, it's the theater in my head. No, but was it the Pacific or the European? Neither. you know, Lowrider paint. Yes, you can. That's what I thought you were getting at. I'd love to do like a lowrider tank, maybe get like the rear part of it kind of raised, like a muscle car type of a thing. None of the tanks on the table is going to war, so why have it in camouflage? Do you remember Lil Homies? I do remember Lil Homies. I remember a bit of them, not much. But I think that's an interesting concept. Let's see. So you want to put date and wheel hydraulics. I think the hydraulics thing would be cool, just to have a tank raised. I think would just look awesome. Good summer fun time. Look at the old 80s, early 90s. When the U.S. goes to war with Mexico. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Mike, good morning. Hydraulics would be dope. Yeah, Mike, we're actually talking something that might be kind of interesting to you. Like actually making like doing something to a tank that makes it look like a hot rod, like a Formula One racer, racing stripes on it. Maybe doing like a low rider kind of a thing, or doing like a raised wheel, like the old big fat wheels on those muscle cars in the back, stuff like that. Just doing something to give a tank something that makes it look a lot less like a tank. I've expanded an article in the 80s called Future Tank with some cool keepers. I've been wanting to do something like that. Peter, do you have a copy of that, by the way? Hot rod tank, is it going to have a mustache and a moped? That would be cool. I would do that. Sure, whatever. All right, give me one more second here, guys. I'm going to apply a little bit more paint here, and then I'll fill you in on the last 48 hours, basically. That's good enough. All right. So, very quickly, I've seen some low res JPEGs, unfortunately. Yeah. I think a lot of that stuff, I'm hoping people, I got to tell you, I think it's unfortunate. People digitize a lot of that stuff. And it's like, because you're never going to see that stuff in print again. Great. Hopefully find that stuff like, what is it? The Internet Archive and places like that have stuff like that. That's a place to maybe check. I have to look into that. A motorcycle with tank treads. See, that would be awesome. So running tanks from Japan always look cooler than the ones from the States. I know you'll watch Hot Rod after you age. Nice. Funny you say you've seen I have a couple of planes. Oh, I've seen your planes. Yes, Mike. Remember, I responded to one of your recent videos saying, build the Folgore. I'm thinking about putting a big block supercharged auto engine into a plane. Watch the plane guys go crazy. Do it, Mike. Do it. I want to see that. I love how tanks from the Dominion Tank Police series. Yes, those are really cool. Photos weren't great to begin with, and then the scans are from like 15, 20 years ago. Yeah. Hopefully somebody has updated that. All right, guys. So I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, and I'll fill you in on the last couple days. So my wife has been obviously my wife is not here. She's living up in Maine, and she's trying to find ways of getting back home. It's just this being apart for almost a year and a half has definitely started to put it's been a burden. She applied for a position early about 2 weeks ago. It looked really good, and but it's like, that wait and see. It looks like things are going well. Wait and see. At the same time, my job has been it's been mentally detrimental. In fact, a couple days ago, things really came to a head with the owner of the company and just calling him on his shit. I've been known in the past on occasion or two of literally ripping into him. I didn't this time. I just said I'm just disgusted and bored. Yesterday during a staff meeting that we had, where we had a broker who's looking to broker the deal between the owner and a new potential buyer. We basically call our current owner a liar, an abusive parent. I mean, I said this right to him. I'm looking him in the eye, the broker, and then also the owner of the company, and just saying, this can't continue. This is like causing health issues for myself, for a lot of our people. One of our guys just took a leave because he's like, I just need to step away. And so yesterday in the morning, I came to the bench, but it's like I needed to not be doing this. I needed to just kind of work on the model, and that was going to help me out. Yesterday, the conversations at work somewhat improved because we literally told him this cannot continue. I've also told him, look, I'm looking for my exit strategy. What's interesting is that as a team, the employees as a team are great people. I love working with these people. Are we perfect? Do we fuck up? Do we piss each other off? Of course, it's family. And in fact, that was the message that we try to get across to the owner and the broker, that this is a family, and to each other. We know what needs to get done to move this thing forward. All we need the current owner to do, sell it, and we'll take care of the rest. We've already got plans and strategies in place. We've been talking enough about this over the years. Is it everything baked? No. Are we going to make mistakes? Yes. Could the company possibly fold under new ownership? Of course. But we're willing to take that chance because the current direction we're going in is harmful to all of us, not only to the company, but to us as individuals. By the end of yesterday, things appear to have gotten at least a little bit better from an attitude perspective. But I've been down this road for 8-9 years. I don't trust, and I told everybody this yesterday, meaning I don't trust the broker and I don't trust the owner. Proof is in the pudding. Until we see something viable in place, you're all a bunch of liars. So at the same time, I get a text from my wife. She's been offered the job. She'll be moving back home sometime in the next 3 months, and between that and the financial package, the health insurance package, all of that took a massive weight off of our shoulders. It just felt like at least one thing is starting to move forward. So conversation at our work is still ongoing and creates headaches. But the good thing is my wife will be moving back home probably no later than March. So from that perspective, Things are improving. So, anyway, guys, let's see. So, yay. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. That's awesome. Nick, thank you so much. Tony, Peter, yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, Joe, thanks. Again, guys, I'm saying this because a few days ago, my wife and I were both in very dark places, and it was getting to that point. And I think everybody knows when you get to that point, when things, you just know that things are just not going right. I'm pacing. I've got a nervous energy. I left work at one point and my hands are shaking. When you get to that point, it's you're hoping there's someplace out. And thankfully, at least from her perspective, there's an out. And that means a ton. So anyway, guys, just wanted to fill you in. This is why I was not on yesterday, because I was so mentally fucked that there was no way I was going to be able to hold a decent conversation. Morning, Peter. How are you, my friend? Gumplay poise. That's completely awesome. Some for you anyway. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. Again, Good News Friday. Yeah, we're finally getting some good news. Sorry about your job experience, but happy your family will be back together. Yeah. Look, as long as, thank you, Julius. As long as one of us at least is in a good place, then this will allow us to make some decisions for the family that will help out. Now, if George can just get his local hobby shop back, life will be heaven. Mike, I'm going to tell you, Mike, if I ever hit the lottery, I'm going to open a hobby shop and I'm going to hire you and Kim to run it and just take it over. There you go. Now that means I just got to play the lottery. I would love a local hobby shop back here. We're kind of worried. You and Ray were kind of worried about what? No need for a reason. You don't want to be on. Don't be on. Yeah. Thank you, guys. And I know Ray texted me yesterday, but it was also like there was like a flurry of stuff going on. I'm not. Look, guys. I mean, it's at 60 years old. My career choices are becoming a little limited to earn the kind of pay that I need. And when we are talking to the owner, and that's kind of like what we're saying, is you are causing more harm to myself and to a lot of the older guys here, because you don't want to make things happen. And it is mentally fatiguing. Oh yeah, Ray and I had an idea for a December group build. I would love to be part of that at some point. Yes, I would know that Ray is. There's one coming up this weekend at Gundam Galaxy. If the weather is crap, I will go to that point. Ray, I'll be joining you there. If the weather is good, I'm heading down and doing the. I'm going to go to the Sleeping Giant and do a climb. Go to a hobby shop, better hire Syntax, and I paint the walls. I'll gladly do that. Oh, fuck yeah. I know Julius sneaks right in. About you, silly. I texted you. You want to test me on watching? I know you like watches. I do love watches. I will be, because today I should have a little bit of availability. I will be checking those out. So Ray, thank you very much for sending those, and I will be responding later today. I worked for a guy like that one time. That sucks. Yeah, this is obviously I've got a 16-year. Actually, I got more than that. I've got a 22-year history. First 5 years as his rep, and then 16 years working for him, and it's getting much. We're getting close. As of March 1st, we will be turn 4 hobbies again. Bye-bye, Hobbytown. Love it. Mike, that makes me very happy to hear. Turn 4 is what it should be. I'm going to ask an expert also. Nice. We have a model show this Sunday. More interviews with the modeler coming soon. Nice. I've been referring to the event as the Ask an Asshole event. Was Hobbytown giving you requirements? Just Hobbytown has its own things. Hobbytown recently also was acquired by another company, which I'm sure made some interesting changes. just a light bit of chipping right on the edging here. I'll show you what we got here because I've got the thumb almost done here now. In fact, it's done enough. I'm not sure if anybody can really see it, but just, yeah, the video camera doesn't do this justice at all between that and the lighting. But there's just enough along the edging just to give it enough of a story. Ask an asshole genius. I know, I love that. My advice may be wrong, but they're free. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's why. If you like watches, you should see Shinola. Shinola makes some good watches, but the watch that I want is, unless I hit the lottery, I will never own. And since I don't play the lottery, it's not likely I'm ever going to win it. I'm ever going to buy it. So that's fine. It's a thing, so it's not a big deal. Not having heard the entire story, but is the issue caused by having pension and insurance tied to employment contract? No, the issue is the owner is a fucking moron. When an industry goes in one direction and he goes in the other in every place, that's a problem. Big changes coming to Hobbytown Corp. Really? Oh, Mike, I want to hear that. Obviously not in this forum, but yes, I'd love to hear that story. Let's just be fielding questions related to existential crises. If I have a hobby store, I would just be my own little toy box. Have a great weekend, everyone. Later. Julius, you too, my friend. Thank you for being on. And hey, Julius, if I don't see you beforehand, happy Thanksgiving, my friend, to you and your family. Enjoy the holiday. Julius pops in so infrequently that I do want to wish him all the best whenever he does come in. I know it's wicked early for him since he's out in the in California. Later, Julius. Later, Nick. Well, is that next to your Mont Blanc pens? I used to have a few Mont Blancs. Unfortunately, they're gone. I lost my favorite one. It was a special edition one. That's why having pens and taking them out of the house is stupid. But learn a lesson. Yeah. My favorite watch is by a company called Adolf Lange und Sonne, and it's their Langematic 1, which has an off-center dial. And if you're going to do it right. I would get it in platinum, which means right there, it's completely, I mean, it's unaffordable. Like I said, that's a luxury good that if I hit the lottery, I would get. And I don't have a lot of tremendous luxury taste, but that is one of them. Clothes, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Kitchen appliances, stuff like that doesn't mean shit to me. But a high performance watch, like a nice luxury watch, yeah, those do it for me. Everybody has luxury taste to some degree. And that's mine. My fancy and favorite pens stay at home. Yeah. I should have done the same thing, but I was stupid. Can't you just rest on one of the gold bars that you had? Use a doorstop? What do I look like, Trump? This one has a turtle and lily pads. Ah. I get a swatch with a swatch guard. Yeah. We went to the swatch store when my wife and I were in New York a couple of weeks back. It was interesting to walk through there. It's a different experience than it was when we took the girls there a decade earlier. Remember Larry King interview asking something about what's your luxury? He said a good pair of socks. Larry goes, on a plane. Danny goes, I work on ductile. Bye, sweetie. Love you, honey. I'll see you tonight. I've always stuck with Peter Jotters. With Parker Jotters. What is Parker Jotters? What is Parker Jotters? A pen. I've never heard of it. Oh, Parker. Parker the company. Now I get it. Okay. Yes. Go ahead, child. Be safe in your travels. Exactly. So I want to wear watches the longest time, but I've had an Apple Watch. I've been wearing it religiously. I want to get a fancy watch. I'm wearing this watch. I got this watch right before my older daughter was born, and it's my day to day. I wear this thing every freaking day. I've changed out the band because the metal band broke, and which is fine. And I didn't want to get a leather band because I don't like to wear leather if I can avoid it. But yeah, I've had this watch for 20 plus years. I also inherited my father's. He has a Concorde, I think, which I need to get fixed. Got a $30 Casio. Everyone asks why I don't have a smartwatch. Yeah, I don't. I look. Watches are like earrings, like rings, like it's jewelry. You know, I don't. I don't want to wear. I don't want to wear a smartwatch. Never. I can't wear watches or bracelets or rings. I can fuck up some jewelry. Really? Ray, is it more that you just can't because of the work that you do? Or is it because it just feels uncomfortable on your appendages? I'm gonna watch since I haven't worn a watch since the iPhone 1 was released. Yeah. I always like tag. Tags are interesting. Too many of them are quartz, which is the only problem I have with them. Already pretty smart with old school watch, Nick. Yeah, exactly. I have a phone in my pocket already. I'm also like where I can fuck some things up. Yeah. Yeah, that I guess that would kind of make sense. If you tend to go around and like if you're doing mechanical work or something like that, physical work, yes. It doesn't make sense to have a high quality watch if you're going to do damage like that. All right, I'm going to lighten up on the rest of these fingers a little bit. It's getting a little too aggressive in here. One of the things I don't want to do is make the hand look so beat up. That means I got to now go to the yeah, I've already I think got a little aggressive on the index finger. So I'm going to start lightening up the rest of these a little bit just to give it a little more inconsistent. Oh, man, my paint's starting to dry too. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. I'm just going to get these things done. Yeah. There we go. Hit the top on this thing. Oh, yeah, paint's starting to dry too fast. What time is it? I'm not going to lay down any more paint at this point. I'll do it tonight. Tonight we have our club Zoom meeting, so I'll be working on this at that point. I have phone in my pocket already. Mostly partially in China shop. I often attempt to travel through solid objects. Nice. I don't wear rings because it interferes with my typing. Really excessive gold watches, rings, and chains. Your Greek is I know. Actually, I'm not a big fan of gold. Like yellow gold, not a fan. My wedding ring is platinum. My wife and I went out and got platinum rings. That's the one little. But then again, at a time when platinum was expensive, but today it's like reasonable. I love my Samsung Galaxy Watch. I'm on my second one, but then I try to steps with that. Yeah, exactly. My wife has one. My kids have one. I don't. I play in technology on a daily basis, and I need to step away from technology on a regular basis. If anyone's interested in playing a Cyberpunk, let me know. It will be live and recorded. Cool, Joe. I probably will pass because I don't have the time right now, but I appreciate that. But yes, anybody else is interested, guys, join Joe. Yeah. At one point, I did wear a cross. However, the cross, the chain broke, and I haven't gotten it fixed. I want to get that fixed at some point. I do want to get that fixed. There we go. It's being a little lighter on it this time. Give me a second, guys. It's going to get a little bit in here. I think we're going to stop because the paint's starting to dry. I'm not going to lay down any more paint. I'll do it tonight. We did titanium and wood rings for our wedding. A big trick we found, you don't use the word wedding, then everything is cheaper. Right. We're having a celebration of what? Something. I need to get signed up. Patriot, maybe in January. Mike, I want you back. I don't wear a ring anymore. I've broken 3 tungsten rings while really? Tungsten? Damn. What a cool initiative, Joe. Unfortunately, the same time zone differences excludes me, but still love the idea. Yeah. I agree. All right, we're going to close this up. Got a little bit of time, but I'm not going to. Maybe about 5 minutes or so. I also like Panerai. Panerai watches are beautiful too, but they're just too big for my wrist. Having said that, there are a lot of Chinese manufacturers with mechanical movements that I've seen some watches on that are relatively inexpensive and look pretty awesome. Let me see if I can pull this one up. It's like a favorite. Oops, hello. Go away. Give me a second. Time location don't matter. Everything online. Yeah, exactly. All right, I collected my 70 points for today from AliExpress. Let's go to my wish lists. Go to watches. Yeah, here we go. I have to tell you, that watch has a moon phase, which is really trippy. They even have one that looks kind of like the Starry Night. And again, I'm not saying it ain't, that's cheap for a mechanical watch. You're just not paying for the Swissness of it. Yeah, there you go. And then there's the back of it. So it's a legit mechanical watch. There's one coming out of a zombie holding a balloon, but his arm is floating away. What? That's kind of cool. Like the moon sun movement on watches. Yeah, me too. That's what got me on this one. You know, that's what got me on that one. There's actually a version of that I really do like that I haven't seen made in a while. But I do like, again, I think it just, there's something just very simple about that. The moon just kind of goes across and it starts to wax and wane. Moon phase watches are really cool. So that might be a watch I'll pick up at some point. The only problem is I believe they're 40 millimeter, which is a pretty good size watch. This is about a 36, if I'm correct. 40 just looks up. Look, I got small wrists. It just looks monstrous. But the Swissness is the business. I know. And that's the thing. You are paying, you're paying 4-5 figures for a watch because it's a luxury brand. I like diamond bezels on ladies' watches. Do you really? Is that why you wear them? Anyway. This is just get a watch that tells space of the planets. That'd be kind of interesting. You say your small wrists make it look massive. Yes. Yes, I did, Ray. Interpret that any way you'd like. So, all right, my friends, it is time for me to get going so we can finish off this fucking week. All right, guys, I will be back on tomorrow morning. And tomorrow it's going to be one of those very easy kind of days. I've got no pressing engagements except some yard work. So tomorrow should be a nice, relaxed morning. We'll do some work down here. We'll have a good time. We'll have a few chuckles. Hopefully today goes well enough that mentally I won't be fucked. But there we go. But to everyone out there, first of all, thank you very much for letting me bend your ear. I very much appreciate that. And I do wish everybody here all the best too. It is a crazy world. And I know I say this from the political side of things, but it is a really crazy world. And it's not an uncommon thing for people to just, I'm not sure if it's on purpose or otherwise, to just cause harm to each other. I think there are a lot of people who are just actively destructive, but there's also people who are just like, they just don't know better and they do bad shit. Go out there and show kindness and love and listen to people before you decide to do something. Hear what's going on in their world. Sometimes that little bit helps out quite a bit when then you can talk to somebody and it's like, I understand your perspective now. And I am saying this, obviously, I'd love to have this conversation continually with the owner of our company, which I try to do. But go out there and continue to show love and kindness to people because that's what's going to change this world into a better place. All right. Guys, do good. Enjoy the day. Love you all. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace.